beautiful greens. And you know, May, for those of you who have a birthday this month, the birthstone for May is emerald. And lucky you, you have an amazing birthstone. You will see some beautiful emeralds throughout this month. However, one of the greatest emerald, well, I don't even want to call it an imposter, but one of the greatest emerald rivals is a chrome diopside. Oop. So let me show you what we're doing here. Oh, this is so much fun. If you do not own chrome diopside yet, chrome diopside is all the buzz in the gem world because first of all, they say that the supply in Siberia for these stones is depleting. Many people talk about the fact they're not even getting material out of there anymore. So unfortunately, the prices for chrome diopside are gonna start going through the roof, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens in the gem world. If you've been watching us over the years, you know that certain stones we used to talk about all the time, we never even see anymore. And a stone like this, chrome diopside, that is a natural green. This is not dyed, this is not enhanced, it's the natural green. This material is out of Siberia, which is one of the greatest resources in the world for chrome diopside. How gorgeous are these earrings? Now, I wanna show you, we have a matching ring that is breathtaking. This also would work back beautifully to that band I was just showing you, how beautiful all of these pieces are and how well they will all play together. But if you want that stud earring, I just love this. You'll notice in my CL Gems collection, I love everything. I like big, I like medium, I like small, but I do have to say, I love a beautiful stud. I like something that sits pristinely at the ear. I like something that's comfortable. I like classic because then it doesn't look dated in 10 years or in 20 years, especially when you're making an investment in gemstones. That's when you think of the big jewelers like Harry Winston and Tiffany and Bulgari and all of the big name jewelers. You'll notice that their designs remain classic, and they do that by design because women who are willing to invest their hard-earned money in fine jewelry want something that isn't just a flash in the pan. They want a design that isn't going to look, oh, that's very, you know, 1994 or something. You want your jewelry to always look beautiful and appropriate and of the moment. And a gorgeous design like this is all of that. So if you're looking for a chrome diopside earring, fewer than 100 left, these are great. And I don't know if you've been pricing it, but if you start pricing chrome a little bit, you will notice that the prices are getting ridiculous. You know, Tiffany and Company, when they first launched this stone many years ago, they were trying to put a whole marketing campaign around it, and they were trying to change the name of it. Because the truth is, the only drawback about chrome diopside is the name. It's not a very romantic name. But the stone, look at that, you guys. Beautiful shot from our crew. Thank you all so much. Look at the color of those stones. That is what we're talking about. This is not wash. This is not light. It's emerald green. I mean, we are talking gorgeous emerald green stones here that are deeply saturated. And frankly, emeralds don't look like this. A natural emerald is not gonna look like that. It's just not coming out of the ground looking like this pure and this intensely saturated. So you, in many regards, when we talk about chrome diopside, you really do end up with the best of all worlds. You get beautiful stones, you get gorgeous color. You always hear us talk about when you're choosing a gemstone, color is king. King when it comes to gemstones. Diamonds have the 4 C's, cut, color, clarity, carat weight. Gemstones have 3 C's, color, color, color. It's the most important factor when you're choosing a gemstone is to go after something, a color that you love, and the better the color in a gemstone, the higher the prices are going to be. That's just the way it works. This, when we look at this color for chrome diopside, it doesn't get better. This is the finest quality. You can see how clear it is. You can see how sparkly it is. In a halo design like this with the clear stone surrounding, that always brings more light to your stone. Anytime you see the clear stones as accent, you know that you are definitely providing more light to your centerpiece. It brings out the natural beauty of the centerpiece. These are going to sell out. Last call. I have more people trying to order it than I have earrings left, so I want to thank you. We have a couple other